Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. Just the next recent finds video, stuff I've picked up over the past couple weeks, here and there, and yeah, just want to share it. Talk about a little music here. One really cool reissue, one that I've been wanting for a long time, and some other stuff just kind of replacement, some filler stuff here or there. So, and then also there's a few CDs I want to share as well. You know, I'm always picking up CDs here or there, especially with as cheap as they are these days, when you're not talking about the mo-fi and Japanese and all that stuff. But just want to kind of show 4 or 5 of some of the ones that I was really excited to stumble across. So let's just kind of dive right into it. First one here is the reissue I was just mentioning a moment ago. Was so excited that this finally got reissued. My boy Billy Hurst here, you guys know him in the VC. We have been talking about why haven't they reissued this, you know, with all the stuff that they do decide to press and reissue, the fact that they've skipped over this one for so long. And he sent me a text one day and he was like, did you know this had been reissued? And I was like, nope. And so we were very pumped to see that Meatloaf Bat Out of Hell 2 had been reissued. So very pumped, because this is one, actually it's kind of interesting. Well, I guess, I mean, kind of understandable. The sticker that came on it said 25th anniversary, you know, pressed for the first time on vinyl. But I guess that's referring to a U.S. pressing, because, you know, obviously there's been an original pressing of this out that I think was a UK, and then I think one other country there was a pressing of it, because they were going for like $100 plus on wherever you find one. So I guess referring to the first U.S. pressing. But unlike those other originals, this is a 2 LP 180 gram pressing. I mean, just a very classic album. You know, Meatloaf doing his Meatloaf thing, which you can't really define him or put him into a box. You know, Rock and Roll Dream, Come Through, Object in the Rear Mirror, May Appear Closer Than They Are, Wasted Youth. I mean, just all kinds of stuff. And of course, the big mega hit, which was I Do Anything for Love, But I Won't Do That. You know, just a fantastic album to have on vinyl, finally. That cover just belongs on the big 12 by 12. So yeah, I mean, that was great. And really just kind of an awesome, and just really an awesome album. And the one thing that I always think about with this is, you know, that the song I Do Anything for Love is, you know, it's almost like a late 80s. I mean, this is the 90s, but it's kind of like almost a throwback to late 80s cheese for a lot of people. But I think when you really pay attention to everything that he does in that song, with the way that it's put together, the diversity of styles between, you know, the big kind of operatic type of presentation as well as the rock and roll presentation. I don't know, the back and forth of the man woman's 80s passion lyric type. I mean, just look at all the things that he put together in that song, and it really is a a magnificent piece of work. It's just so easy to lump it into the cheese, but it's like I challenge most artists to put together something that big and that diverse in a song and pull it off the way Meatloaf does, and there's very few, if any, that could do it. So yeah, I definitely have an awesome appreciation for that album. It's just so awesome to finally have it on vinyl. Next, we have The Church, one of my favorite 80s bands. This is Further and Deeper. This came out in, I want to say 2014, I think, 2013, 2014. And it's just the Church doing the Church. I mean, I think their debut album was somewhere around 82, and you know, still putting out stuff in the late 2000s, and still doing the same great stuff. I mean, the Church is much like the AC/DC, where you can pretty much take any song off of any of their albums from any decade and move it to another album in another decade, and it fits right into where you would even notice something was out of place. You know, AC/DC is a band you can definitely do that with, and The Church is definitely one as well. And this is kind of that same thing. It's that that monotone vocal delivery, and that 80s feel that they had. Now, this album is a little bit more, I've only listened to it once all the way through, so I haven't kind of gone back in and really dug into what I think are the best songs and all of that. But listening to it the one time through, it's a 2 LP set. It's definitely, I'm not going to say it's more musical. It's a little more busy than their other albums. That may be the better way to put it. But if you are a Church fan, you will love this one. So now I was really happy to get that one because for the long, it'd been sitting in my local record store for probably, gosh, it has to be like a year and a half, 2 years. Literally, it's been sitting there. And it was just marked at like $29. And I just like, this is not a $30 album. I'm not doing it. And finally, they did a huge, like 33% markdown and put it in their markdown bin. And I was like, yep. So yeah, it was nice to finally get that. Next here, nice addition to the Music on Vinyl collection, which is a little Delight. Worlds Collide, which of course has, the big hit they had, which is Groove is in the Heart. One of the few kind of dance type of albums that I tend to like a little bit. I've always kind of liked their style and their flavor a little bit. That they kind of kept some of the fun in music. And, not to mention when you have Bootsy Collins and stuff like that, kind of stepping in and adding some flavor to stuff, you're going to get something pretty good. So that was a nice one. The Music on Vinyl stuff was on sale on import CDs. So, always keep an eye out there if you like those type of pressings. Doobie Brothers, couple of Japanese pressings here. So you got the Doobies. One Step Closer. This is one, too, that doesn't necessarily have a huge hit on it, so to speak. But, for me, the Doobies is just a band I like listening to. They just sound good. Just very musical. Maybe not always complicated, but you can still hear the creativity in what they do. And this album kind of falls right into place with that. I mean, McDonald's voice is one that can get annoying very, very fast and very easy. But most of his stuff with the Doobie Brothers, I'm kind of okay with. You start getting into some of his solo career stuff and some of his later 80s stuff, and it can get a little, you can only listen to that voice for so long, but it just works so well with the Doobie Brothers. So another great album there. And found this one just randomly in a bin at a local store. Only $6, so I had to pick up good old Sheena Easton. And this is Take My Time. Just kind of some of Sheena's 80s stuff here. This is the one, of course, that had 9 to 5 Morning Train. And I've been a fan of Sheena for quite some time. I first really kind of fell in love with her when I was a kid and I saw the movie For Your Eyes Only, the James Bond movie with Roger Moore, because she did the title track for Your Eyes Only on that, and I just remember every time that movie came on, I used to watch it, if nothing else, just to hear her sing the title track at the beginning and the end of the movie, because I love that song so much. So that's kind of when I first fell in love with her, and I mean, I've always liked Sheena, so that was another good pick up there as well. So Mr. Hall of Fame definitely has his feminine side, and he also has his very masculine side. So had to pick up a little Slayer as well, and this is Live Undead. This is an album I've been wanting for a while as well. Just one of those ones that you're kind of waiting to find a good copy at a good price. And so I picked this one up the other day. And this is a reissue. Definitely an album, though, that's kind of meaningful to me in my Slayer world, because this was really kind of the first album that brought me to Slayer. Well, I guess I can't say album. The song Black Magic and Show No Mercy off of this album were the first Slayer songs I ever heard. So yeah, this is definitely a very meaningful album in that regard to me and within my collection. Now, this is a Back on Black reissue. And one of the things that's kind of interesting here, because you guys know I can't stand, colored vinyl and especially picture disc and all of that. I'm just not a fan of it. And I remember pulling this out in the store, and I was thinking, like, blue and white? Like, it didn't even go with, like, where'd they come up with that? But it was it was marked down so cheap, and plus I got my discount on it as well. So I was like, I have to get this. But oddly enough, when I put this on the turntable and was spinning it, I loved the way that it looked on the turntable. I was like, holy cow, after all these years, you know, between colored vinyl, picture disc, splattered, and blah, 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 this is really the first time I've ever put a colored vinyl on my turntable and actually liked it. So I don't know what that's about. So maybe they knew something with the blue and white that I wasn't aware of until I spun it. But moving right along, Arch Enemy. This is a new release by them, and this is called Covered in Blood. This is a 2 LP release, and basically what it is it's just all the covers that Arch Enemy has done over their career, or at least a good majority of them. Because you know that's one thing they definitely like to do is cover other people's songs, which is kind of cool. So on here you have everything from, you know, they cover Shout by Tears for Fears, Shadow on the Wall by Mike Oldfield. What else? The Zoo by the Scorpions, Kill the Power by Manowar, Symphony of Destruction by Megadeth, Aces High and The Ides of March by Iron Maiden, Starbreaker by Judas Priest. I thought there was another Judas Priest cover on here as well. I'm missing it somewhere. But, oh yeah, Breaking the Law, they covered that one too. So, I mean, a lot of, you know, classic songs that, you know, they just know were great songs and wanted to cover and kind of have fun with them. My favorite one off of here, though, without question, is their cover of The Oath, which was, of course, written by Kiss. I think it's off Kiss's The Elder album. That's definitely my favorite cover that they've done. Matter of fact, I would say that's my favorite Arch Enemy song, period, out of their entire catalog. I love what they did with that. They just really took it and kind of made it their own. So if you haven't heard of them, maybe kind of curious, again, check out The Oath by Kiss. I think if you dig that, you'll definitely like their other stuff. Little replacement copy here. I purged my other one a while ago based on condition, so just picked up a nice little reissue, little German import. Rattle and Hum, U2, and same with Prince Controversy. This is one I was wanting to add to my collection for so long. I just was not willing to pay $25 for it. It's like, especially, you know, kind of having the CD, which I was more than happy to listen to. But finally found this at the shop where I get my discount, and I had some trade credit, so that always makes it a little easier to pick up things. But yeah, definitely a good album. I mean, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't hold it off because it wasn't a good album. It's just, you know, some you just don't feel comfortable dropping money on. But, you know, songs like Controversy, Private Joy, I mean, Anti-Christian, just really kind of Prince in his early career kind of coming into what would be known as, you know, Prince with 1999 and Purple Rain and all that great stuff. Just another replacement copy here. Steely Dan. This is an album I think I've bought 3 times now. Just whenever I stumble across one that may be in a little bit better condition than the one that I have, I just pick it up and then sell my old one. So I came across this one the other day and figured this is probably about as many as I'm going to get on this album. So I picked it up, and so that's a good replacement copy. A band I'm not very familiar with, Out My Window Acoustic. From what I know, I guess they're more of an electronic band. But the guy at the local record shop that I kind of, you know, hang out with, and, you know, we kind of sit around and shoot the crap, he was marking this down, which he marked it down like $11. But he was also, it was sealed. So he was also playing it on his phone, just to kind of, you know, hit his phone up to the system in the store or whatever. And so, I mean, just a couple of songs I thought that just sounded really, really good. And it was just really kind of a dream pop, synth pop type of thing, which I love. I love that kind of stuff. So I went ahead and picked it up, and, you know, just have to kind of give it a listen, because I've only heard 2 or 3 songs off of it. But maybe in my next video, when I get a chance to kind of listen to it all the way through, I'll come in and kind of give a little more insight. But from what I heard, it sounded really, really good. So if you are familiar with this band, you know, maybe kind of leave some info down below and tell me a bit more about it, because I'm kind of just discovering them. And this was another ear-dropping album that I picked up. Same record shop, same guy. I'll Be Buffalo here, which I had heard of them before, but I hadn't heard of this album. And he played a couple of songs that were, you know, kind of nice, but you know, I mean, actually, they were pretty good, you know. And so he was like, I was like, well, do you have that on vinyl? He was like, no, but I can get it for you, and I can give it to you for this price. And I was like, oh, well, yeah, I'll go ahead. So I got it and kind of listened to it all the way through. A good album, definitely a decent album, but I'm not quite. I don't think I'm going to keep it within in my collection. This is one where I think I could be pretty much happy with the CD and not have to own the vinyl on it. So yeah. So anyone who might be interested in this as well, you know, may want to do a trade or something of that nature, let me know. That's actually, I don't think I've mentioned this before, but that's kind of the next stage I've decided to go through with the purging of my collection, because I just want to kind of keep tightening down tightening up my vinyl collection. And my next purge is going to be to go through my entire collection again and really think about each album of which ones I would be totally comfortable just having on CD, or which ones I actually have to have on the vinyl formatted as well. And so that's kind of where this comes into play. Is I think I could be happy just having that on CD. So you'll be definitely seeing some videos coming up regarding that. And then a few CDs that I picked up. Again, just kind of at least the ones I want to share. One that I've been wanting for a long time. Sorry, trying to work the glare out of there. Magic Sam's Blues Band, Black Magic. For you guys who watch my videos pretty regularly, I'm sure you remember a few videos ago I showed a Japanese pressing of this that I got, a vinyl pressing, which had me completely, you know, excited. But I've been wanting to get the CD for quite some time, and you just don't find a lot of used ones floating out there, so it's like $14.99. And I'm not paying $14.99 for a CD, unless it's some type of Japanese pressing or MoFi or something like that. You know, I'm not paying over $14 for a CD. Especially one that's in such a simple digipack. I can't stand that. But anyway, let me not get off track here. But yes, I actually stumbled across a used one the other day for $6.99, which still is a little bit high for me on the CD side. But I was like, oh man, as long as I wanted that, fantastic find. So, and again, if you're not familiar with Magic Sam, the song I recommend checking out off of this is "What Have I Done Wrong." I mean, that's a blues song that just does it. A few other things here too. Another a random thing just to pop up in a stack of CDs I was digging through the other day. Enya, just called 6-track. Nice little Japanese pressing there with you know, Orinico flow. I can never say that word right. You know, just some more Enya, which I love so much. And I have a really neat story to kind of talk about that too, concerning Enya, because I came across some new equipment. One of the reasons why I haven't listened to some of these albums, because I was in the midst of changing some stuff around in my system. But I'll share that story in another video, because this one's starting to get a little bit long. But yeah, so some really cool upgrades to my stereo system. The Cramps, Bad Music for Bad People. Found that brand new for $3.99, so that was another great pickup. And this album in particular with the Cramps, the way I like to describe this one is it sounds like the Stray Cats, who got really, really drunk and really, really tore up and decided to go into a studio and record an album at 3 o'clock in the morning while they were just all totally wasted. That's what this album sounds like. So, but yeah, definitely good stuff. And the last two, Into Me, Juicy Fruit, and that title track, Juicy Fruit. You talk about just one of my favorite 80s R&B tracks right there. I mean, that one is, from the video to the song, everything. I mean, I love it. So this is one you don't stumble across on CD too often. So that was a really good find. And last but not least, I don't think I showed this in my last video, because I've had it for a little while now, but the Jeff Beck group, Beckola. You know, this is one with Rod Stewart at the helm, so if you like Rod Stewart, this is definitely, and I know with Jeff Beck, you know, there's kind of different bands and different almost like stages that he went through with his music, and some stuff sounds really, really different. So albums like Truth and Beckola, where you had Rod Stewart, it sounds more Rod Stewart-y, you know, the type of music you would expect from him. But some of Beck's other stuff can sound really kind of, if you're not into it, strange, if you will. So if you're a Rod Stewart fan, you definitely need to make sure you check out this album. Really, really good stuff. So anyway, excuse me. There you go, VC. Those are recent finds. I have a nice size order coming. That is some stuff I ordered from Japan. I was hoping it was going to get here this week, but I guess we'll save it for a video next week. And like I said, a couple things I've changed in my music room, and I kind of do a video of that maybe later today if I have some time, just to kind of share a few things. But as always, thanks for watching, VC. Hope you guys have a good Friday, and we will talk to you soon.